name is Evans Charles. Welcome to the new Hyatt House here in Shaw on 9th and O Street. I am a native Washingtonian, and I'm super proud to introduce you to the first hotel investment that we've made in my hometown, Washington, D.C. This hotel was a former brand that was built in 2014. We just acquired it a year ago. We just made a $10 million investment into it, and we've transformed it into the new Hyatt House. So here you're in what we call the jump lobby. The main lobby is on the second floor. So let's take you up to the staircase and we'll walk you up to the lobby. We revamped what used to be a conference room. Now it's a small meeting room. We now have the H bar. So we've completely revamped this whole bar lounge area that serves for breakfast in the AM. We took our fitness room that used to be on a rooftop down here to the ground floor, because when I take you upstairs, you'll see we're creating a whole new experience up there with over 5,000 square feet of indoor-outdoor rooftop space. So let me bring you here. So this is the new fitness room here. As you can see, we have floor-to-ceiling glass. We wanted to convert this into extended stay. You have your cooktop, your refrigerator, your dishwasher, your sink. You can walk right over to Giant, buy your groceries, and you can stay here, cook your own food, and stay here for long periods of time. So particularly geared towards longer-term stay clients like government, contractors, hospitals, colleges. We're the closest hotel to Howard University. Just see here, we just have new wall vinyl, backlit mirror, shower, made it very comfortable. Hopefully you like the decor. We're excited about what we delivered here. All right, so you are on our penthouse level, which was historically a big fitness room and a swimming pool. We are now repurposing our penthouse to become what's going to be called Realm Rooftop Bar and Lounge. We're planning to deliver this by October 1st, but I want to walk you through at this stage of it and kind of share with you the vision of what we're looking to do here on the penthouse. These walls are going to be dark. The lighting is going to be dim. There's going to be a beautiful chandelier that's going to come down here. This is going to be a private VIP room here called Haven, and I'll walk you inside so you get a good feel for it. So this room that I'm standing here used to be the swimming pool. So there was like 4 feet deep that we had to fill up and block this off. And that's why you can see we're at a different elevation from what used to be the fitness room here to my right. So this here, and I wish I had the renderings, is going to be more of a private VIP, more exclusive, but at some points we're also going to open it up to the main bar area. So this here is our outdoor patio, which is about another 2,500 square feet of space. All new furniture. As you can see, unobstructed views of the Capitol Dome. If we walk to the other side, you'll see the monument, but just a beautiful skyline of Washington, D.C., downtown Washington, D.C. You can see into the neighborhoods or so. You just don't get much better than this. I mean, look at this view.
Well, this is important, as Mayor Bowser says, that we are growing our economy. We're diversifying our economy, as Mayor Bowser says. We're kicking off what she has launched back in 2016, 10 years ago, 202 Creates Month. And today we're here for the inaugural 202 Creates Con. We're joined by members of our entertainment, arts, and culture industries here, Live Nation, the Motion Picture Association, the National Association of Broadcasters, Radio One, Monumental Sports, and the list goes on and on. Inside that building there's a number of innovators in arts, culture, and entertainment.
We couldn't be more excited to bring live entertainment to DC. We have some exciting stuff this year. One of DC's own creatives, Dave Chappelle, is going to be gracing us at Capital One when it's back open this fall. We have some exciting content coming to Warner Theater, and not just live music, but Miss Kamala Harris. We have Alvin Ailey Dance Crew. So we have a lot of exciting things to bring, not just to give DC residents something to do, but to bring in folks from Virginia and Maryland to spend their money here in DC.
We have the 10th anniversary of 202 Creates, but we're also celebrating the 10th anniversary of the reactivation of the DC Film, Television, Entertainment Rebate Fund. The Rebate Fund is our district's production incentive program to attract movie production, both from outside of the district and also to promote district-based production companies as well. In the 10 years since we launched the program, we've had 81 projects go through the program. A total economic impact has been $231 million for an ROI of $14 for every dollar of investment in the program. So we're extremely excited about that program. We have an exciting Disney project coming in October that's expected to have an impact of $8 to $10 million in the district and hire 75 district residents.
And speaking of the economic impact that the motion picture industry has on the economy, my name is Renata Colbert, Motion Picture Association Director of State Government Affairs. My role focuses on making sure states understand the real economic impact and benefit of storytelling.
I'm John Gibson, the Vice President of Industry Relations at the MPA. But more importantly, I'm a proud native Washingtonian, DCPS graduate. And so what a lot of folks don't know is that this multi-billion-dollar industry, representing the 7 largest media companies in the world, the global headquarters is in D.C., 2 blocks from the White House, 1600 I Street. So the face of Hollywood is in Washington, D.C. And so my goal is to connect with organizations, almost 70 throughout the U.S., Canada, and the United Kingdom, making sure that the global industry looks like the global audience. And that's important. And I know as a D.C. native that there is creativity upon creativity in this city. And so our goal is to assist LaToya Foster and her team in making sure that D.C. residents are at the table.
How you doing? My name is Andre Hobson. I'm the CEO and founder of High Res Global. LaToya Foster and 202 Creates and Mayor Bowser have been super supportive of everything that we've ever done in trying to burgeon talent from this area. And I'm glad to be a part of the panels this morning and be able to work alongside Kelly Flanagan and Live Nation and bring my clients into great venues and always have great concerts and support this great thriving economy in D.C.
DC is an art city. People don't really know that. And so what we're doing through the launching of 202 Creates Month and Art All Night and Dine All Night is highlighting the creativity in culinary arts, the visual arts that DC possesses. There is no place in the world like the district. And so we are encouraging our entrepreneurs and our creatives to participate, our residents to come out and participate and celebrate our creative economy.
Reverend Willie Wilson, Union Temple in Washington, D.C., Anacostia, Southeast D.C. At a time when our people's spirit is low, when many are frightened by the military occupation of our city, it's a time to bring us together in a sense of community spirit, of love and unity, similar to what we experienced all those years with Unifest and with the Million Man March. That's what we want to generate among our community, where there will be harmony, and as well it will have a great effect, as I stated in statistical data, in decreasing the amount of black-on-black crime and homicide in our community.
My name is Ayo Handy Kendi. I was very blessed to be part of the Public Relations Committee of the first Million Man March, even though the minister said women don't come to the march because we want to address the very critical needs of black men. I respected that and didn't come to the march, but I made sure that all of my sons, I made sure that all of my male family men, I made sure they came. We don't need to bring 1 million people together in one place, I think, anymore. It's too much militarization of the federal forces that could find a reason to take 1 million people out compared to when we initially did those marches. So I am so supportive of this 30th anniversary's concept and ideology.
My name is Sister Adria Muhammad. It is so important that we acknowledge and celebrate cultural days that are reflective of the culture and heritage of black people in America. A celebration like the Million Man March brings about a unified effort to improve quality of life for families, not just black families, but all families.
Hi, I'm Jermaine Bogues Lefteridge, and I'm the founder and creator of the ubiquitous Women's Expo. It's so important that people support this because it's about us coming together as a community. It's about us being healthier. We do health screenings, we do mammograms, high blood pressure screenings because health is our wealth.
My name is Uzo Semeka. I'm with Touch the Black Breast Cancer Alliance, where our main mission is to eradicate black breast cancer. We're here with many programs, but this program, For the Love of My Girl specifically, is for our population between the ages of 18 to 35, because unfortunately we're getting diagnosed with breast cancer more often and at younger ages, at later stages. So ladies are unfortunately coming to their doctor's office and they're stage 3 or 4, which is treatable, but obviously harder to treat. So we're here to educate the community. My boss likes to say we go where black women live, work, pray, play, and slay, and quite literally we do that, which is why we're here at Ubiquitous today. It's an amazing event all about beauty, hair, makeup, clothing, accessories, but also Jermaine is so kind and knows how important it is to bring health to these events and to these spaces. We're also here with our partners, Bexa Equity Alliance, offering free breast exams with a technology that is not available normally to the public. So we're happy to provide that whenever we can. And we're just honored and blessed to be here today.
My name is Aaron Johnson, president of Unity's Screen Print and Embroidery right here in Washington, D.C. We have a booth here every year. We're here sharing the good work that we do in our handmade fashion. The clothes that we make are specifically tailored to a black woman's physique. And so this is a perfect space to showcase the things that we make that are tailored for this particular demographic.
My name is Olivia Lane. I'm the founder of Higher Purpose Consulting, and we're just so honored to be a part of the Ubiquitous Expo. Today we are launching Heal the Hurt Faith-Based Health and Wellness Initiative. It is a collaborative between Higher Purpose and Rejoice Radio Network. We cannot do this alone, so we're here to just share information. We want to educate, equip, and empower individuals to unite with us on our wellness journey together. We found out through our research that we're not always overcoming our emotional pain and hurt. Women of all races, and definitely African American women, we are unique given the statistics around our healthcare disparities. And we found out that emotional pain can impact our physical body.
My name is Sydney Collins. I kind of have a funny story about how I found out about this event and how excited I am to be here. Around the end of July of this year, I was able to participate as a volunteer for the U.S. Black Chamber's 16th annual conference, and that's where I met the wonderful, amazing Miss Jermaine, the founder of Ubiquitous Expo and I Know Skincare. And it's been such an incredible opportunity for me to get to know her and the way that she's poured into me. Even if I've known her for such a short time, she was so excited and so intentional about me wanting to participate this year, not only as an ambassador for Ubiquitous Expo, but on behalf of Save a Girl, Save a World, and as an ambassador for Wonder Tree Skin. And so it's just been an incredible opportunity, and just knowing the word of Ubiquitous. Black women are everything, everywhere, all the time, and just having an event where everything is highlighted for us in terms of beauty, skin, hair, healthcare, just things of that nature have always been so inspiring to me. And so as an upcoming TV personality and someone who wants to see a career in entertainment, just being in this space with not only just large names, but women that genuinely care about our well-being has been something that's always been exciting for me. So I'm excited to be here and enjoy the rest of the expo. This event is important for women overall because representation is important. It's important for women, especially Generation Z, to see people who look like them in high places. There's billionaires here, there's millionaires here, there's people that we can connect to face on that not only are just here just to show face, but they're here because they care and they want to show up for us, and showing up in a way that shows us that we can fill their shoes. People always say that youth are the next generation, or that we are the future, and the way that they pour into us to be here, having women leading these incredible businesses as entrepreneurs, nonprofit owners, or investors, it's really inspiring for me to see. And I think that every woman, especially my generation, should be here to just take it all in and embrace the goodness of just being in a space that truly values us.
We have an opportunity to be in community with each other. This is a sisterhood. It feels like family. So I think it's healing in itself to be surrounded by like-minded women.
What's up, everybody? I'm DeMarco Rush with the Washington Informer, and today I'm here at the front porch with Noochie.
What's going on, y'all?
Before we even really get into it, I want to talk to you about how you got into music and what sparked the Front Porch idea.
Well, I came up underneath my dad, One Way Booby, who was a pioneer in DC hip hop when DC was pretty much just like a go-go city, and it was kind of going against the grain to do hip hop and just kind of outside the box in total. And just watching him do that, it made me subconsciously do the same thing.
So you've had a busy summer. You've thrown it back with George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. You've had Wiz Khalifa, Smino, Tony Yayo. That's just to name a few, but that's just from this summer. What has it been like for you being part of something that's being deemed as a national movement?
It's kind of crazy to me, to be honest, because I just came out here rapping just to be heard, and I didn't expect everybody to hear me or everybody to want to come to the same spot that I chose to be heard at. And I think it's incredible that it's touching this many artists, and like people that I actually was inspired by are now inspired by me in some type of way. And I think that's dope.
Take it back to 2023, when you first invited members from Backyard onto the porch, and that kind of blew up in a sense. What was that like in the beginning? And when you look back now, did you ever think you would get this far with it?
To be honest, when I called G, I didn't even actually call him. When I ran into G and I spoke to him about doing the porch and bringing Backyard over here, I kind of realized in that moment what it would do if we did it right. And so far, everything's been kind of going how I would hope it has been since then. But I didn't expect it when I first came out here and started rapping, because I was just in the process of getting out of a deal and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was just like, let me go do something where I don't have to call anybody to come be a part of it, and I could show the world or whoever's within my reach how good I am at what I do. So I didn't expect it at first, but once I seen what it was and got the vision, I seen where it could go.
Yeah. So with all the performances, all the artists that have been here, what has been some moments that is just unforgettable to you personally?
To be honest, like every shoot is kind of unforgettable to me, because I'm here from the top to the bottom. I'm there with the production team, my management team, talking to the musicians and picking the songs that the artist's going to do, to the day of the shoot, interacting with the artists, and like it's all special to me. And like having them sign the wall, like every aspect of it is dope. Like seeing the people that are over here interact with the artists and get to work with them, but also get to show that a little starstruck at the end of it. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all damn near family now at this point. So like every part of it, every shoot, bringing all these people together is really my favorite part about it.
Who are you most trying to advocate for right now? If they see this video, who would you want on the front porch next?
I want Stevie Wonder on the front porch, to be honest. I really want Stevie Wonder. I think he might be the greatest musician ever.
Y'all gonna bring the piano, have him
whatever we need up here. We can put it down here if you don't want to go up the stuff. Whatever we got to do. I love to have Stevie Wonder over here, just because I know who he is musically and just what this would mean for our culture and us, just to have him over here and be able to showcase that to the world.
And just when it comes to the overall DMV music scene, how do you think the front porch has positively impacted the scene as a whole?
I think that was the goal. The goal, or at least that was my goal from the jump, is always about representation of the city, like representation of this area. I always felt like we were kind of misrepresented, and I'm not putting that at no blame to any particular person or any group. That's just how I feel like it has been, and I feel like I'm in somewhat of a position to help showcase the best of to the world. It's easy for the internet to pick something, or a fad or a trend or something like that, but when it's actually true to it, it makes a big difference. So when you see G and Wincy come out here with Snoop Dogg, it makes sense. When you see Robin Thicke say, "Give me some of that go-go."
Great performance, by the way. That was,
you know what I'm saying? Like when you see all these artists coming over here and embracing the culture and wanting to do go-go renditions that people that have never performed with a band before, it's like, I think this is doing wonderful things for our not just our rap or go-go, but all our music, and just people paying attention and taking our area serious as a music city, or somewhere other than just a stop to get some money, but also a stop to create something, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Noochie. I appreciate you for the interview.
Alrighty, brother.
And for everyone watching, keep up with the Washington Informer. We have more interviews, more feature videos coming soon. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is James Wright, a reporter for the Washington Informer newspaper. I have the pleasure of interviewing U.S. Representative Oye Owolewa. Mr. Owolewa, how you doing?
Good to see you. Glad to be here.
Yes, well, we have in the city in some very troubling times, according to folks at the White House. As you know, we are under federal occupation. Could you give me your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. For the past month or few weeks, we've had the president federalize our police, has put National Guard as well as other federal agents on our streets. You know, he's doing what he says for public safety, but we're seeing it as more of a political distraction, and we're seeing people all across the city rise up, film officers, and really show them that they're not welcome.
Well, wait a minute. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser appears to be working with the Trump administration on this, and there has been evidence that crime has gone down. As a matter of fact, there was a statistic that came out last week that said there was 12 straight days without a homicide. Doesn't that mean that that's a good thing?
Well, yes, we obviously don't want murders and violent crime, but we're also seeing other aspects and other consequences of this federal occupation. We're seeing businesses go down because of less tourism. We're seeing dining options decrease. And we're seeing young people and kids afraid of going to school because they're afraid of ICE picking up their parents or people going to classrooms to bother them. So although we do appreciate the drop in crime, we've had other ways of controlling our public safety, like getting our $1 billion back from Congress so we can actually hire more officers, or even put together programs to keep young people engaged and not on the street.
You know, one of the reasons the district voters have elected you to this position is because you are fighting for this thing called statehood.
Yeah.
What is statehood, and why does the district need statehood?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I've been in this role as U.S. Representative for about 4 or 5 years now. And when I first ran for representative and we're talking about D.C. statehood, the conversation kind of began and ended with voting representation in Congress, right? Which is very important. It allows us to have a say on national matters. But since then, we've seen our budget be slashed, we see our locally passed laws be overturned, and we're seeing even the Congress threaten our home rule, which allows us to vote for our mayor and our D.C. council. So right now, when we're seeing this occupation, we're using this as to spotlight what's going on in D.C. and to show that our only way to free ourselves from that federal oppression is by becoming the 51st state.
Well, isn't it true that D.C. residents pay federal income taxes but are not represented fully in the House of Representatives and have no representation in the Senate? And even though district residents pay full taxes and have the obligations of serving in the military,
absolutely,
we still do not have a voice in terms of the Supreme Court that is constituted. Don't you see that as a problem?
I mean, you want my job? You did this better than I did. No, honestly, I think it's important to point all those things out. We not only pay taxes, we pay the most in taxes. And much of those senators and representatives that talk trash about us take our money to run their states. So we're called donor states, even though we're not a state. We serve in the military. We do everything that's asked upon us, but we get none of the privileges that our friends in Maryland, Virginia, Alabama, and beyond. And when I went to West Virginia and talked to people about statehood, we had conversations first about things that were similar. They care about their water quality. They care about getting employment opportunities. And here we have infrastructural issues, and we have the highest unemployment percentage because of Trump. So there's things we have in common. And if we were to become a state and have voting representatives, voting senators, we'll be able to pass legislation that supports people in areas that their senators aren't even supporting them.
Well, let's make it clear. What does it take for DC to become a state?
In order for DC to become a state, we need to pass the House, which our ward on the Hill, Congresswoman Norton, has done a couple of times. We'll need to pass the Senate, which we've never been this close to, but obviously we still have work to do. And also, the president has to sign off on it.
Wait a minute. Doesn't it require a constitutional amendment?
What we've seen in the past with other states, they have not needed a constitutional amendment. What they would need is to usually join another balancing state, whether it's free versus slave states or conservative versus liberal states. They come in pairs. And now with the past few years, people have brought up Puerto Rico and other locations that have their own journey to statehood and self-governance. But here in the nation's capital, we're the only place that forces our residents to pay federal income taxes without having a vote on where that money goes, how it's spent. And we are looking for the same thing that anybody and everybody else have.
Well, I have an idea. What about retrocession? We go back into Maryland.
See, remember I told you I want to take my job? I'm taking it back. So the idea of retrocession is DC residents being absorbed back into Maryland. You know, we gave away what's now Arlington, Alexandria back to Virginia. And the long story short is we don't want to be part of Maryland. Maryland doesn't want us. Politically, it doesn't work. Financially, it doesn't work. Culturally, it doesn't work. We want to stay Washingtonians, but we want the same rights as anybody else.
Well, let's just be honest with you, okay? The real reason that DC isn't a state is like Ted Kennedy said at one time. DC is too urban, too liberal, and too black. Is that true?
I think people are afraid of black leadership. I think we've seen a culture where things like DEI is considered a bad thing. That talk about the truth about slavery is controversial. But as an elected official, as a black man, sometimes you gotta tell people to get over it. We're here to stay, and we run our city well. And if we weren't compromised or sabotaged by the federal government, we'll be able to own what's happening here without being interfered with. You know, right now we have a president who bankrupts casinos and is taking our money and complaining about what we can use that money for. We're spending $1 million a day on a National Guard cleaning our forest area, while we could spend a fraction of that money employing DC residents to do the same thing. Hell, we can even get high school seniors to volunteer to do some of these things. And we're seeing wasteful spending, we're seeing political gamesmanship, and we're seeing substandard outcomes in the district. And whether it's me, other elected officials, or even activists, we gotta come together, speak truth to power, and do something about this.
You know, you have traveled, as you mentioned this, but you went to a place called Utah. It's very conservative. Talk about the kind of reception you got in Utah.
I'm so glad you brought me to I think in February, so Mike Lee, the Utah senator, introduced the Bowser Act, right, which would essentially take away our home rule and remove all of our elected officials, including me. So I figured if he wanted to act a fool in D.C., why go to Utah and talk to his constituents? You know, we knocked on doors, we talked to elected officials, we talked to even the media down there and wondered, why is your senator not paying attention to the things that you care about, is interfering with my election and my governance? And not only did we get a good reception, we also found out that Mike Lee himself found out about this trip. So in D.C., you know, in Ward 8, we learned to pull up when somebody's giving us a hard time. And I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to do that. And I'm really appreciative of D.C. residents' faith in me to do something like that.
Well, that's nice, but there's a rumor that you're retiring from being our U.S. representative. Is that true, or is the kitchen too hot for you?
Well, we announced our retirement recently. You know, I've been able to enjoy 3 really good terms as representative, 5 for statehood, doing things in the community as well to improve the quality of life. And I was really excited to pass the baton to the next generation of leaders. You know, someone who's ready to take the mantle and move the conversation just a little bit forward. But me personally, I'm not going nowhere. I'm excited about the next journey, pursuing city council at large, just really trying to execute some of the things we've been able to do in our current role as representative, whether it's our public safety, whether it's reducing and eliminating student debt, whether it's rehiring the federal workers who are looking around right now and saying, what about us? They need someone who can champion them, and I'm excited to be that person.
Why would you want to be on the D.C. City Council? They get overridden by Congress. It's a lot of work. The salary is okay. It's a part-time job. It's a salary.
Right.
Why would you want to do that? Why not just open up a consulting firm and make a whole lot of money?
Well, hey, when you're called to action, you step up. And I never thought I was going to be a politician. I'm not somebody who wants to be in office for 30, 40 years collecting a check. But at a certain point, living in Ward 8, being a pharmacist throughout the city, there's certain people that just haven't been looked after. There's been certain people that don't look at their elected officials and see themselves in that reflection. And when you're talking about opportunity to step up and show people the right way and get other people motivated themselves, see themselves as leaders, it's something that you can't just always say, something you got to do. And I also feel really passionate about some of the changes we've been able to make by ourselves. A couple of years ago, my house got shot into. And living in Ward 8, when I finally got home, the neighbors were inside, the cops were gone, it was business as usual. But it wasn't business as usual to me. And when I talked to the streets soon after, I found out that I had a couple of neighbors that party all day, party all night, and they were shot at. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But I asked them, what keeps you guys outside? And they told me they couldn't get the job they wanted to get. They couldn't live where they wanted to live. They kind of lost hope because they had criminal records. And I asked them, if I'm able to find you a way to get your record removed, what would you do? They told me they would get the job they want. They told me they'll move out of their parents' house. They wouldn't be on the block no more. So the light bulb went off, and I'm like, well, let me find you this program to help you on your way. Because I don't want you getting shot at, and I don't want my house getting shot at. Looked around, couldn't really find that program. So rather than complain about what a council member isn't doing or complain about what the mayor isn't doing, we created it ourselves. We grabbed a couple of community leaders. We grabbed a couple of influencers in that community, some neighborhood folks who've been in those spaces, and I just wanted to create a program where they can see a lawyer for free, and maybe 10, 15 people show up, and I said, you know what, I did my job. The Washington Forum picked it up, talked about it, a couple of people talked about it, 130 people signed up. We had to change locations, and 70, 80 people showed up. We had a great event, and then the people who didn't go called me up saying, how come you didn't remind me of it? What's your next one? So we kept doing it, and 2 years in, we have a program where people finally have that hope. And not only do people have that hope, we've been able to inspire legislation and change. We've been inspiring the expungement or the record sealing laws to be more generous for those who need that second chance. And we're seeing now that when people care, change happens. This is not because of me. This is because the returning citizens were sick of the laws. They lobbied for themselves and made things happen. And when you're someone who can legislate, provide oversight, and have power over the budget, you can see real changes in the city. We can't talk about black displacement without talking about black displacement of money. How 10, 20% of business owners in DC are black. Well, if the money is leaving our communities, we can't expect our community to be able to stay and function. And I believe that we can have a fairer budget. I think we can have better outcomes. We can have young people have higher literacy rates and more young people going to college to help reduce violence. I think that's a winning message, and I think people in DC deserve that.
We're getting ready to wrap up. Should you be lucky to win a spot on the city council, you would be probably the first full-time health professional on the city council. What difference would that make?
As a pharmacist, as a scientist, we think differently. We have the scientific method. We go with the question first to find the answer. We don't just find our favorite answer and work backwards. We are collaborative. We're team players. But we also have a different set of experiences that set us apart from the average person. Knowing that I'm an expert in medications and an expert in insurances, I know how to deliver better health outcomes while reducing costs. Living in Ward 8 and having a hospital here, I know what it takes for it to be in a better position. Losing pharmacies left and right, I know about how to change the insurance payout system, how to look into pharmacy benefit management to make sure that healthcare workers can make a living east of the river. Because when you have resources concentrated on one area, you're disincentivizing healthcare workers from being in another one. That's why there's 3 hospitals in a throwing distance in Ward 2, and we couldn't even have 2 hospitals at once in Ward 8 and none in Ward 7. You can't expect to have better health outcomes while using the same players. And I'm ready to be used by DC residents to get better outcomes.
Last question.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that as you decide to run for the council, you'll be running at some point against a DC native.
Sure.
You're not a native of DC. You're from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Why should the voters here in DC elect some Bostonian to our city council?
Don't forget Nigerian American too, with a name that most people can't pronounce. There's a lie. It's not just Boston. The reason why is because when people vote for me, it's not me they're voting for. They're voting for a chance for themselves to be heard. They're voting for better outcomes for themselves. I won my first race in Ward 8, moved into the neighborhood less than a year before, because I brought a campaign that reflected what the people in the community wanted. I was knocking on those doors. They asked me, they told me they want speed bumps because they were afraid of the kids being outside. And all these Maryland drivers speeding up and down 15.